Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, we're doing another Q&A video where I take your questions from both Twitter and Snapchat, and I answer them all in this video. Now, in today's Q&A video, we've got a lot of epic questions, obviously about the future of GTA Online, what's coming up next, as far as event weeks, as far as future DLCs. It's going to be a great Q&A video. If you want to see your question possibly featured in the next one, go down in the description, follow me on both Twitter and Snapchat. It's a great way to follow up with what I'm doing in real life. I also do giveaways on there pretty frequently. So go down there, follow me on both, and it should be a pretty good time. But of course, with out of the way, let's not waste any more time. We've got a ton of questions to cover today, and let's get it started. Also, let me know if you guys enjoy the format of answering like a lot of questions in the Q&As as just compared to a few. So let's jump into this. Our first question comes from Lolinator13, who tweets at me, would you like to see vehicle parachutes / jetpacks in Cunning Stunts DLC? Hashtag AskBoss. You know what? I think that would be super cool if Rockstar added features to the vehicles that were pretty wacky and pretty crazy. Let me show you an example of what I'm kind of talking about. This is like a Snapmatic. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Now, this was obviously staged with someone just opening a parachute behind the car, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. How cool would it be if you could do jumps from the sky, and then right before you hit the ground, you could pull a parachute so that your vehicle would land safely? Or like what you're talking about with a jetpack, if you wanted to like turn on some thrusters really quickly so that your car didn't go crashing to the ground, you totally could. I can see Rockstar adding a lot of cool features to these vehicles. Hopefully that's what they do, like stunt cages, roll cages, bull bars, crazy lights and attachments to the vehicles. I really hope that Rockstar don't skimp out on epic customization that can be applied to these Cunning Stunts vehicles. Now, we obviously don't know what the Cunning Stunts vehicles are going to be like. We don't know what Rockstar's plans are, but I would imagine that a DLC that's based all around vehicles and stunt races and stunting will likely have some additions to either the Los Santos custom shop or additions that can be added to the vehicles themselves. That would ultimately make the most sense in my eyes. All right, so our next question comes from Adrian the Duck, who tweets at me, why do you think Rockstar cut the ground fireworks from the Independence update? Hashtag AskBoss. So this is a question that a ton of people asked me, and I don't really have a great answer for you. I've got a few predictions. One is that the technology or the way the ground fireworks, worked on last generation just didn't transfer over to the current generation consoles. But then I've noticed that people with, whether it be modded accounts or leftover fireworks, can use them no problem. So I saw that and I was like, what the heck? There seems to be nothing wrong with these ground fireworks, Rockstar. Why can't you just add them into the game? So I don't know if Rockstar just disliked the idea of having the ground fireworks or thought they were not cool, but it was kind of a shame that they were chosen to not be added in this Independence Day update. And it was kind of disappointing and misleading from them because on their newswire, they stated that all of the Independence Day special content was going to be added into the game, when in reality, there were a lot of key items left out, like the beer hats, the ground fireworks. There was a lot of other things that they didn't add back. So that was kind of unfortunate because it wasn't a full and complete DLC like we thought they were going to be adding. So to give you my final answer, I have no clue why Rockstar didn't add them into the game. It seemed like an obvious thing that they would do, but at the end of the day, they just skipped out on them. That's a great segue into our next question, which comes from Cole, who tweets at me, do you think last gen being left out for the Independence Day update was uncalled for? Hashtag AskBoss. I do, because of how easy it would have been for Rockstar to add it into their game. All they had to do was update the tunables, which is essentially flipping a switch. The content was already on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So I really do think that Rockstar screwed the last generation here. Last gen doesn't get any new DLCs. They only really get the opportunity to take part in DLCs that they already got. But Rockstar just ripped them off on this one. They just said, nope, you're not getting anything regarding the Independence Day update. So yes, I do think it was uncalled for. Maybe there was an error or an issue with the content. I have no clue, but it just seems wrong that last generation was left out on something that they already have on their game and on their system, which would have made it so easy for Rockstar to just implement it into the game by flipping one switch. So yes, I think it was uncalled for, and I do feel bad for the last generation guys, because I think they definitely got left out on this one. Our next question comes from Tillin TK, who tweeted me, what do you think the very last DLC for GTA Online will be? Will they go out with a bang or just let it fade away? Hashtag Ask Boss. So Tillin, I hope they do something crazy, like they do the ultimate DLC, whether it's like fixing the servers or opening up all the buildings or allowing a giant sandbox mode. I hope they don't just do like a regular DLC and say, that's the last one. I hope they do like a finale DLC for Grand Theft Auto Online where, like I said, they do some crazy things that they would have never done because they were still working on Grand Theft Auto Online, but because they're letting it go and because they're letting it kind of end, I hope they just go way out of the box, do some crazy things, add a sandbox mode, add the ability, maybe have like every item in the game for free or something like that. I don't know. Just do something crazy to make it wacky and fun. I think that would be epic and would be a great way to send a GTA Online out with some style. Our next question comes from Matthew Rogers, who tweets at me, hashtag AskBoss. Do you think we'll be given a 6th property slot with the Cunning Stunts update? I sure hope so, Matthew, because with the last DLCs, Rockstar have not added any new property slots, and we've gotten a ton of new vehicles. So every time you see one of my live streams or one of my videos, I'm always having to delete a car to add another one because I simply don't have any more garage spots, which is kind of unfortunate because I don't want to have to remove vehicles, but at the same rate, what am I going to do because I want the new ones? So yes, I don't know what Rockstar was thinking. I could have sworn they were going to add a new garage spot with Finance and Felony, but they didn't. So if they don't do one with Cunning Stunts, I will literally be shocked because it seems like the most obvious DLC to add a new type of property or at least at a minimum a 6th property slot so that we can get 10 more cars because there's likely going to be a ton added with the Cunning Stunts DLC. It's a great segue into our next question, which comes from Aaron Blee, who tweets at me, do you think that the Cunning Stunts DLC will have better payouts than the races we have now? Hashtag AskBoss. So I'm not 100% sure if the races will have better payouts. I think that it would be cool if Rockstar put a premium on those types of races, but what I can almost guarantee you is that sometime after that DLC releases, Rockstar will be doing like a double money and RP event for the stunt races or whatever sort of racing the Cunning Stunts DLC brings. So do I think the payouts will be more? I'm not sure because Rockstar typically like to do things based on a placement finish or like a time system. So whether it's how long it takes you or whether you place first or second or third in the race, that's how much money you're going to get. So unfortunately, I'm not able to tell you that right now. I think the payouts will likely be better just on how long it's going to take people and how wacky the races will be. But as far as having a higher payout threshold, that I'm not 100% sure on. Our next question comes from Bryson, who tweets at me, do you think that Dom will get more involved in GTA 5 Online when the Cunning Stunts DLC releases? So he's talking about Dom, the helicopter pilot in game, and that would be cool. I always love it when Rockstar introduces the single player characters for things in online, whether it's Trevor for the heist or Lester for heist or Lamar for the lowrider stuff. So yeah, that would be epic. Dom is a pretty interesting character in game that you don't get to see a lot of, but when you do, he's pretty funny and pretty entertaining. So yeah, I think it'd be a great addition to online and he would fit perfectly with the Cunning Stunts theme. Our next question comes from AST the Gamer, and I think he's trying to say, will there be a new class of vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online for the Cunning Stunts DLC? Hashtag AskBoss. So that would be cool. I don't think Rockstar will create a new category of vehicles. What I think they're going to do is make it very similar to the lowriders. So, you know, when you take a car into Benny's, it'll then say custom. So it'll be like Buccaneer custom or Primo custom. I think it's going to be very similar to that. So let's just say, for example, the T20 is going to be one of the stunting vehicles. If you take it to get it stuntified, I guess, it might be like T20 stunt version or something like that. So I don't think they're going to create a new stunting class. What I think they're going to do is modify the vehicles themselves and the name of the vehicles, like the T20 Stunt or the Banshee 900R Stunt or something like that. That's what I think they're going to do. I think creating a new class of vehicles would be complicated and it would certainly pose some challenges for Rockstar in terms of balancing, and just creating a whole new class seems to be a big undertaking for them. Up next, we have a question from Charlie Goodwin, who tweets at me, after the 770 had been released, do you think Rockstar will announce a bit more about Cunning Stunts? Hashtag AskBoss. So that's right. We're all predicting that the Debauchee 770 is going to be released in this week's event. So after that, will there be information about Cunning Stunts? Likely, But also keep in mind that Rockstar's July or Independence update week is going on through July 11th. So I think after that ends, then we'll officially see some information about Cunning Stunts. So yeah, I would say not this week, but maybe next week, Rockstar give us our first glimpse at some information and maybe possibly a release date on the Cunning Stunts update. Our next question comes from William, who tweets at me, #AskBoss. Do you think Rockstar will add the dirt racing track in Sandy Shores for the Cunning Stunts DLC? William, that is a great idea. So I think that Sandy Shores, Blaine County, and Paleto Bay is some of the most ignored area in the game. Not only by players, but also by Rockstar. There hasn't seemed to have been a dedicated DLC that features a lot of the wilderness and, rugged terrain out there. And I think adding that racing track would be a spectacular idea. So a lot of people focus on the arena, the stunting arena, if that will be added, but not a lot of people, as you mentioned, focus on that racing track that's located up in Sandy Shores. So not only do I think that that would be a great idea, I think that would be a welcomed addition to the game and would obviously allow us to kind of expand our reach into the upper quadrants of the map, going up into Paleto Bay, Blaine County, all sorts of different areas that we don't typically get to explore because we're too busy doing all the things that were added in DLCs that are, for the most part, focused around the city. Like Finance and Felony, everything is focused around the city, the warehouses, and the offices. So yes, that would be a great addition and is a great idea. Our next question comes from Redhead Dude 2K17, who says, do you think that the Cunning Stunts vehicles will bring in a new mod shop, just like Lowriders brought Benny's? So the other day, I made a video touching on like the mysterious mod shop files found in game, how I think it's more cut content over anything. However, I still do believe that Rockstar will end up adding a stunt shop in the Cunning Stunts DLC to create stuntified vehicles. So that would be pretty cool. I'm not sure where they would put it on the map. Los Santos Customs is obviously scattered around in multiple different areas. Benny's is kind of in like downtown Los Santos. So I wonder where they would put the stunting shop. That would kind of be cool. Would they put it near like the beach on Vespucci? Would they put it up north in like Paleto Bay? That would certainly be interesting. Let me know what you guys think would be a great location for that stunting shop in the comments section down below. All right, and our final question today comes from iBoganBav, who tweets at me, what are you enjoying most out of the Independence Day content so far? So I'm not enjoying like one piece of content. I'm enjoying hanging out with you guys, streaming, having a good time, doing all the fireworks shows, trying to get the Liberator monster truck and the Sovereign up on top of the Maze Bank building, trying to climb Mount Chiliad in those vehicles, having musket wars, just hanging out with you guys, having fun. A lot of people say, why don't you get bored with GTA Online? Because I'm just having fun playing the game with all of you guys and having a great time. So that's what I'm enjoying most out of the Independence Day content, hanging out with you guys and just having so much fun. So anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. As always, if you want to get involved in the next one, be sure to go down in the description, follow me on Snapchat and Twitter. You might find yourself featured in the next Q&A video. If you did go on to enjoy, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. We like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.